You pointed this out in your newsletter. I thought it was so important. 86% of Republicans support mass deportation.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
58% of independents. Wow, that's a big number of independents
Totally.
saying to agree to such an incendiary sort of statement. 25% of Democrats support it, which says to me it's really 40 or 45% because there's a lot of Democrats who wouldn't admit that.
And to your point, I noted in there's been a couple polls. There's one in April, there was one in June, and then this most recent one. The one in June had the Democratic number at 42%, which I was really surprised by. Yeah, that's what jumped out at me. Look, as you were talking, Leland, I was thinking to myself, we were talking about the debate last week, and I said essentially, like, every second that Donald Trump is involved in an abortion conversation, whether it's IVF or he's losing.
Yep.
I say the exact same thing about Kamala Harris and immigration, right? Anytime even if she's talking about the things the Biden, like even if she's talking about accomplishments or whatever, you're always losing. And I don't mean losing among the base. Look, Donald Trump's not going to lose his base over his views on abortion. Kamala Harris is not going to lose her base over her views on immigration. And I don't want to say they're not important because they are, but this is 48 days. The votes that matter are people who are still undecided. And if this is an election that functions as an issue referendum on immigration and the economy, he is going to win. If this is an election that focuses on an issue referendum on abortion and or a personality referendum on Donald Trump, she is probably going to win. And I think that's where we are. That's what you need to watch. And so again, more immigration talk, Donald Trump, they love it. The more she talks about immigration,
right, the more Trump loves it. We put up this poll that has her up 6 points now nationally, which probably up 6 points nationally is where she needs to be to have a chance to win the Electoral College, somewhere right around there. All that said, if you go back and look at where she was, same poll to same poll, she really didn't get anything out of, quote unquote, winning the debate.
No, I think she's probably ahead. You know, if we commission the 10 pollsters we think are the smartest, and they did 10 national polls, my guess is you would find her ahead from between 3 and 6, and that's not nationally, and that's again nationally. It's an electoral college vote, not a popular vote, as I like to remind people. I don't think that's materially significantly different than on September 9th, but I was nodding my head when you were talking about this as it relates to Georgia, because it's true nationally too, which is, look, what do we know about 2016 and 2020 vis-a-vis Donald Trump in the polls? In 2016, the final national polling average says that Donald Trump was going to lose to Hillary Clinton by 4 points. He lost by 2. Now, he did lose a popular vote, but he lost by 2. In 2020, the last national polling average said Joe Biden is going to beat Donald Trump by 8. He beat him by 4. Now, past is not always prologue, but if I'm a Democrat and I say, well, wait a minute, so he overperformed by 2 and then by 4, it would worry me that the pollsters still have not figured out that Trump vote.
Right. Now, he's rallying in New York right now. Nassau County, the North Shore, the uber-rich part. Yeah. I'm not an expert in New York geography, but I got a lesson from a friend earlier. The south part of Long Island that borders Queens, where he's at, cops, firefighters, contractors, on and on. There's no way he's going to win New York.
No, this is... Okay, so... I'll give you a preview of my newsletter that's going to come out in 20 minutes.
See, this is why you got to guess like this.
This strikes me as dumb, candidly. I get it. There's going to be a big crowd at Nassau Coliseum. It seats 16,000 people. My guess is Trump will say 55,000 people were there, whatever. The point is there's going to be a big crowd. He does have support here. We saw that when he did an event in Queens. We saw it when we did an event in Wildwood, New Jersey. Joe Biden won New York State by 23 points in 2020. Hillary Clinton won it by 22.5 points.
And Harris is only up 15.
But she's still going to win. Right. If she wins by 1, she still gets all of New York's electoral. So I think it's dumb. I get why he's doing it. Look, he grew up here. You always care. I do. I grew up in Connecticut. I always care about if somebody from my hometown's like, hey, man, I saw you on TV. That's so great.
Right,
it's like, it counts as 10 times more than some rando telling me that. You always care about where you grew up. So I get it. And I get that it's going to make him happy to do it, and he's going to raise money, and maybe it helps a little bit. There's some congressional districts there that Republicans need to hold or win on Long Island. So there's some marginal effects, but if it's me, there's 48 days left. Go to Pennsylvania, go to Michigan, go to Georgia. I think it's strategically dumb. I get why they're doing it. I just don't. I wouldn't do it if I was managing the campaign.
well,
of course, Donald Trump is managing the campaign.
That's the most important part of the thing you just said. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.